So now we're going to go over some shoulder mobilization stuff. So these movements are all about creating blood flow through the joints, through the muscles, all the connective tissue. They are about creating movement. We want to create some heat in through the joints. A lot of us are being very stagnant right now and staying in these just sitting for long periods in certain positions, not necessarily good positions either. So these movements are to be done one after another in sequence. I have on each video put up the repetitions that I'd like you to do. Do whatever's comfortable for you. These are just suggestions, and make sure that everything is pain-free. My demonstration of the exercise might look different than yours depending on what your range of motion is, and that's okay. As long as it's comfortable for you, that's all that really matters. So I've tried to make a lot of them kind of seated so that you can do them sitting at your desk so that there's no excuses. So I hope you guys enjoy. If you have any questions, just feel free to shoot me an email. So shoulder shrugs are great for, you know, quick kind of mobilization in between meetings, sitting on your chair, feet flat on the ground. All you're doing is inhaling, exhaling, bring them down. Inhaling, hold, squeeze, 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 bring them down. Squeeze, 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 exhale. Do about 5 to 10 of those. Down and back, up. Good. Squeezing the muscle activates the muscle. Even though they're getting tight from tension, from being held in a position, in a bad position, they're also probably getting weak. Where there's tightness, there's typically weakness. So you do want to activate those muscles, get the blood flowing, get them contracting in a healthy way, and that'll also help release some of the tension and bring blood flow to the area. So this next one is great, again, for shoulder mobility. So sitting in a chair, feet flat on the ground, shoulder blades set. Bring your hands up to your shoulders, bring your elbows up, and you're going to bring them forward to touch. Here you can add in a chin tilt or a chin drop if you want to. And you're going to bring your elbows up, around, force the shoulders down, and forward. If you feel any cracking and popping, as long as it doesn't hurt, it's okay. That's a great one for opening up the shoulders. Scapular retraction is a great way to help mobilize the scapula or your shoulder blade off the rib cage and trying to get it moving a bit more efficiently. So what you're going to do, arms up, and all you're doing is popping the shoulders back and forward. Keeping the shoulders down so they're not up at your ears, down, pop forward. This can also be used as a good strengthener as well. But think mobilization, movement, blood flow. You know, with this one, you can do, 10, 15 reps. Awesome. Okay, so mobilizations for the shoulder, pectoral girdle, as well as the cervical spine or the neck. So seated at a desk or a chair, again, is something you can easily do while you're sitting at your desk on one of your mobilization breaks. Feet flat on the floor, and you're just gonna do simple in and out. So I'll show it actually from the side first. So feet flat on the floor. All you're going to do is arms up and forward, round, forward, think like cat pose, head down, and then come back. And then go forward, go back. If extension of the neck isn't comfortable for you, just stay neutral, but round and forward. Good. I'll show it from this angle. breathing. This is a great one to get some movement through that upper back and neck while you're working at your desk. Wall slides are a fantastic exercise. They can be used for strength, stretching, mobility. So they're definitely one that you want to add in on the daily. And there's a bunch of ways to do them. So we'll go over some different options for you guys today. I'm sitting again in a chair and I'm about 6 inches from the wall. And so with my back up against the wall, I'm leaning right against the back of the chair. I'm bringing my arms up and my hands are against the wall into a W position, and I can feel a nice stretch through the front part of my chest there. So one, you can hang out here because that feels pretty good, but you can also add in some movement, trying to keep the backs of your hands as well as the elbows on the wall. So this is really for a more of a chest opener because I'm a little further away from the wall. If I backed right up against the wall and just did this way, it's less of a stretch and it's more of just a mobility, keeping the backs of the hands and the elbows against the wall as your arms slide. So kind of up to you with the position that you want. You can also hang out here and then do some internal and external rotation. So elbows are at 90, shoulders are set, internal and external rotation. You can see that my internal rotation is pretty limited. It's actually pretty pathetic. So going in and out. So this type of mobility exercise, you can't really overdo. Keeping those shoulders, you can see how my shoulders start to creep up there. So keeping them down as you do this. Good. Okay, wall slides. I am standing about a foot away from the wall. I'm leaning back, low back against the wall, or trying to anyways. Mid back against the wall, shoulders against the wall, elbows up, hands against the wall, elbows against the wall, and sliding. Keeping those shoulders set. So you just go until you kind of feel your shoulders pop up, okay? So here, there, that's about it for me. Everybody's movement and range of motion is going to be different. Good, keeping everything flat against the wall. And then rotation. So it does feel a little different than doing it seated. So find your comfortable. Okay, so we're doing another version of wall slides. So I am sitting cross-legged and my butt is right up against the wall, and my lower back is pushed into the wall, my shoulders are pushed into the wall. I'm bringing my arms up, the backs of my hands are on the wall as well as my elbows, and I'm sliding up and down, trying to keep everything flat against the wall. I can feel my left side pop up, so I really have to focus on keeping those against the wall. You can also bring them down into 90 and then do some internal and external rotation again. You know, doing about, I don't know, 10, 15 slides or rotations is probably good. You'll start to fatigue out. Another option would be to shimmy slightly forward, maybe 5 inches. Doesn't have to be too far. You can kind of play around with it. And then sitting upright, doing the same thing. So actually that's a little too far for me. So bringing the elbows back, hands back against the wall. This, doing the same motion, but we're really working on a bit more of a chest opener. So elbows, forearms, everything back against the wall and up. So this one, harder for me to keep my elbows flat. I really have to focus on it, and I only go as high as I can with everything staying flat against the wall. So work within that pain-free range of motion. Here you can do the rotations as well. Might be able to actually get a bit more range of motion if you're a little bit farther sitting farther away from the wall.